Hey everybody, welcome to Wild, Creative, and Confident, a video interview series where you can learn from the most inspiring industry leaders on how you can use your passion and creativity to design the life and business of your dreams. I am your host, Sarah Marie Thompson, the creative success coach from wildandcreative.com. And I am so glad that you are here today watching this video because today we are interviewing Asha. I'm going to say this right. Menghrajani.
Perfect.
Great. That was a tongue twister. She's an abstract artist with a background in business, and after collaborating with a film friend, she created her website shecreates.com, which is a beautiful website that's got so much art and it's just so much inspiration on it. So I welcome you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today.
I want to ask you, when did creativity really pop into your life at the beginning?
I have to say, I didn't even know I was creative to begin with. It was my mother who saw the talent in me. And I was really the type of a person who was a happy-go-lucky child, and I always wanted to just, had play in the background. I always enjoyed what life had to offer. And so she actually saw that artistic talent in me, and during the summers in school, then she decided to enroll me in an art class. I actually started with Chinese painting, which was actually perfect for me because it was the most elegant way of doing artwork at that time. I was only 14, 15, and I felt like I got in touch with my soul at that moment. When you're doing Oriental art, there's this way of painting, calligraphy, there's this way of doing the elegance of the trees. It's so soft. The types of papers you use and the brushes. That's what got me to decide I'd like to continue working in art. And then we even had shows, and I ended up selling two of my pieces, which even motivated me more and said, maybe this is something I'd like to do. And so that's where it actually got started.
Wow, I love that because Chinese art is so different from just, let's finger paint, that kind of thing, right? It's like a method on its own. So it's interesting that that was one of your first real artistic experiences. So, what, when did you really start the shecreates.com movement?
That happened, I would say, in the early 2000s. I was moving back and forth. I had a bohemian lifestyle. I was traveling, and I still am. It even got more intensive. I was teaching, not teaching exactly, but I was working in an art school, and I met so many different artists, and that's where it started. Then I met her, and she was coming in as a student, but she wanted to become a filmmaker. But we ended up working together, and that's how it all began. However, I was also on and off working on my art. I didn't finish art in college. I didn't feel it was necessary, although my family encouraged it. Not like others, they had to go into something more science or medicine before they even wanted to pursue. For me, I actually had the ability to choose what I wanted to do. But I ended up doing business because I felt it was the more practical thing to do. My father's already a merchant at that time. Entrepreneurship was already in my blood. It felt like, I wanted to complete that.
Mm-hmm.
But because of that, I actually ended up really getting even more motivated and got more curious about the artistic, life. I took Chinese painting, fabric design. I delved into filmmaking, photography, so many mediums. And because of that, I, got into the whole thing of doing abstract art. So it continued in the early 2000s. That's when I started the She Creates. I built my website. Social media started coming in at that time slowly. It was really still, in the baby steps of it. But we started working on it, and then we separated, and then I then worked on my own art after that.
Awesome. How have you allowed yourself to receive gifts, abundance, all of that over the past few years, especially in your business?
I like that question because a lot of people, like I'm one of those people who like to listen to motivational speakers, inspirational talks, and a lot of them talk about asking and receiving.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably have many gurus. I'm a philosophical person, but when it comes to receiving, until you really believe that you can have it, it's only when the time you can receive. A lot of people, ask for what they want, but it's a little distorted because they don't see that there's a faith or belief behind all that asking. So if you're confident with what you're doing, if you know that you're taking the necessary steps in getting yourself involved in the field that you're very interested in, definitely things will work out for you. The other thing is that faith is useless without action behind it. I learned that from my own mistakes. It took a really long time for me to get into the business until I realized that I procrastinated a lot. I really lost a lot of time into working on the business only because I didn't take the action. It was necessary for me to get these little things done, to get the exposure.
Right.
So receiving, when you're talking about receiving, you just have to know that there are steps to take. You have to move, to take steps and action to be able to receive the things that you want. So it's not necessarily about the vibrational energy that people talk about. It's also what can you contribute to the world, to the society, for it to even come back to you.
Okay. So definitely a give and take situation with you and the universe. Well, it's technically, universal energy, like an exchange, right? There always has to be an exchange, is what you're saying.
Yes. There's also this thing called, the second thing I know is that there's certain laws that govern the universe, like the laws of cause and effect.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to attract anything you desire, you cause it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not happy with the effects, obviously you change the cause. You have an awareness of what it is that you want, and then you get, like I mentioned, taking the action behind your faith. You don't just sit and ask for something and hoping that it'll just fall right on your lap, right? You desire something and you find a way to get it.
I know that especially artists or very creative individuals, sometimes have a hard time with the receiving end of things because, they want to get their art out to the world. They're happy about their craft, but, sometimes maybe they're not selling their art, or maybe they're not making, enough money, all of that kind of thing. What is it you think about artists that I'm kind of generalizing here, but what is it that you think about creative people that kind of maybe are not, bringing in that receiving part? You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. A lot of it, and I think I felt that for myself at one point. There's a lack of confidence. You have some doubts. There's fear behind showing your work. And the biggest thing I think is we should never ever compare ourselves to another artist. That part of lack of confidence is that they're maybe not able to hone enough of their skills. Maybe they don't feel confident enough because they're not doing the work. Mm-hmm. They're not practicing. They're not sitting and it's all about the dreaming part. It's not going and risking what they're supposed to do and making a little bit of fool out of themselves. Sometimes, when you go out there and not everybody's going to like your work. Mm-hmm. I've had a lot of rejects, honestly. And especially when you're doing abstract work, people don't understand or cannot relate because they have certain associations with what they think and what they see. Mm-hmm. So when you're trying to express something, you want to express a feeling, and art is selling emotion. It's not necessarily selling a particular product. So until an artist really understands deep inside what message they're getting out there, it's a very dive in deep sense of self that you're sharing to the world. And sometimes some of them, there's a certain block, or maybe they went through life that, that's not suitable, or they were not happy with certain things and they want to express themselves and they're stuck. So they feel that they don't deserve receiving it because, one, the comparison about others, maybe the others are, the work is better than them, or they don't feel that they get enough support. Sometimes the family could be one of those things too, or they get influenced by what others have to say. Mm-hmm. So that could be the drawback in actually receiving and allowing them to express themselves fully.
Yeah. What do you think infinite receiving is? Or what is infinite receiving to you?
Wow, that's a nice question, because infinite receiving, when you say infinite, it really means that the whole world is abundant. Mm-hmm. There's no lack. The only limitations that you have is within yourself. So if you're not feeling like you're not receiving, it's because, again, you're not asking for what you want. And in the asking, when you are actually asking, you're accepting the fact that it's already available for you. It's already there.
Right.
It's just a matter of finding out how. You don't even know the how it's going to show up. You don't even know. It's just a possibility of seeing what's going to be there. The exciting part of it is that, can I receive anything that shows up for me? Because I ask for it, because it's available.
And not feel guilty about it.
Exactly. So you take all the action steps. Again, action is so important for me because I really procrastinated, and I'm stressing this because you have to do the work. You need to sit down and say, how much time can I put my work today, so that when the end of the day, I feel I have accomplished something that is a creativity for me. Mm-hmm. Did I sit down and apply for my website, for example? Did I organize my art materials? Just the fact that you start by opening up your box of paints or setting up your easel in the correct place where you want to paint is enough for you to say, I'm opening myself up to receiving all the possibilities and expressing all the things that I can express as an artist.
Love it. So I love the way that you've connected your craft to receiving, right? Just by what you said, by, whether that be organizing your artwork, or, maybe writing in a journal, who knows what you're doing, right, as your craft, but allowing that energy exchange to happen, allowing you to receive. That's great. That's wonderful. Mm-hmm. What suggestions can you provide to the viewers that are watching about increasing their own ability to receive? Just a couple key tips. I know that you've already covered a couple of them.
Yeah. So the tips. So the question is, what suggestions I can give them into receiving?
Yeah, just like a couple tips maybe that they could implement, throughout their day.
Okay. If you want to become an entrepreneur or an artist, practice your skills is one of the things. Keep on doing it. It's never ending. Your business will keep growing. It's a growth process. If you already know that, you don't want to do a 9-to-5 job someday, you want to be a freelancer or an entrepreneur, hone your business skills, hone your artistic skills. The other thing is, you have to give yourself time to let your business grow, to let yourself grow. The other one thing I want to suggest is, which also helped me just in the last 9 months, is have a business plan. Have a plan set for your life and for your business. Anybody that has no plan will surely fail. Because I was all over the place. I said, okay, today I'll do this. Maybe next month this will work. Or, oh yeah, that's a great idea. I'd like to do that. But unless you're completely clear of what you want to do, even you're not clear, because an artist have so many ideas. Put it down in paper, make a plan, have a vision, write what you feel you want to do and why you're doing this. What is the purpose of all this? Because it helps an individual find their path by writing them down. Even if it's just one simple page plan that says, my vision is to inspire humanity to live creative lives.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So what's my next step? What is the mission I want to accomplish? I'm an artist. I paint. I can open my website and I can express my artwork. I can teach other artists to paint. I can go out and have collaborative artwork shows. I can sell my work to galleries. All these steps are coming. Or I can even open up a simple blog and talk about my work. So the very main thing is that have a vision, go through the whole process, the pain, the I guess when a caterpillar goes through metamorphosis, these things happen, and then you will definitely see the manifestation of your business or of your art.
Awesome. Yeah, it's great when you just break it down so simply like that, as to what's your vision, what are you doing in your business, and what do you want to do, what can you be helping others with, where's your service spot, really, right? What has been your biggest achievement to date? I know that you've already talked about quite a few of them through the last few years, but your biggest achievement that has really allowed you get to the point of ease and flow in your business and your life.
Yes. I think that the biggest achievement is when I've been able to give up things that no longer work for me and open up to new possibilities. What I can tell you is in the last 9 months, I dropped everything. I gave up my job. I traveled for 9 months to be with family and really sat down and think, what was it that I really wanted to do? And with that, I continued. I started my blog. I wrote art articles. I was in a creative block for a year and a half, and I needed to do that. So there was a new transformation that happened for me. I want to now share to other artists how to transform their creative block. I want to create art workshops. And okay, the very biggest achievement I can tell you right now is I got clarity. I got clarity in my life. I got clarity in my business, and I got clarity in what exactly I want to do with my life. Being clear is enough for me to know that that's success for me.
Yeah, and I mean, we've been talking about, knowing what lays in front of you, knowing where you want to get to. And without finding that clarity piece, I know, so many people talk about clarity these days, but it's really true. I mean, you really need clarity to know where you're going or what's going to make you happy, right? So, I mean, it can be as simple as, really hashing it out with friends and family. I mean, I probably wouldn't recommend it because family and friends don't always have your vision, right? But, whether it be mentor or coach or what have you, the clarity piece is very, very important to move forward the best you possibly can.
Definitely, yeah.
What would you suggest to the entrepreneurs that are watching about a method that you have used? Again, I know you've been sharing so much, but that could help them with finding their true authentic calling. Anything other than really finding clarity?
If you already have a business, and let's say if you see yourself wanting to be an entrepreneur in the future and you're not sure where you want to be and why, again, that first part that I mentioned is have a business plan. Write it down. The second is, what was that I wanted to say? Even when you have a vision and you're an entrepreneur and you can't, let's say you want to be an entrepreneur and you can't seem to balance, let's say you're so used to this lifestyle of working for a company, or don't give it up. continue doing that until you can slowly get into your business. I'm in the process of still balancing my life between having a job and working as an entrepreneur. I would take whatever time I have available to hone my work, to hone my art. I would have a daily things that I would write as to what I need to do to work on my business.
Mm-hmm.
And that will never end. You'll have to keep doing it until you've mapped enough time where you're ready to give up your 9 to 5 job and go into your business.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is that it'll take time. You have to let your business give it time and let it grow.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just say, okay, it's done. It is never done. Business is always about growth. When you're writing, like I said, when you're writing a business plan, you're always thinking about the future anyway, isn't it? It's not about what's happening now.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're putting something for the future, then it prepares you to take all the necessary steps to get there. And that's the best way for any entrepreneur to do what they want to do. Think about what you want to do. Like I mentioned earlier, having that vision, having that plan, balancing your schedule, making a list of what you want to do, checking off those lists, getting the work done until you progress.
Mm-hmm.
And then you will be able to see that the world is infinitely opening up for you. More possibilities are coming in. Affiliations, social media, art shows, collaboration, workshops. I mean, it's endless.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know where you're going to land until you know where your skills and talents lie. But until you know where your skills and talents lie, you need to do the work. You need to take the action steps. You need to find yourself. You need to work on what is your talents and skills. Start from who you are and what you can best do.
Mm-hmm.
And that will expound. And it's supposed to come with ease and flow. It's not supposed to be a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
When a business becomes a struggle, then I feel it's something that you need to rethink and see, what is it that I'm working too hard that's causing me pain, that it's not working with the flow that I want to.
Right. Which can be, that can be a lot of work on the clarity part again, right? Because I mean, there's so many things that we think that we love to do. And, in the moment, we do very much enjoy doing them, right? And they feel that they make sense, maybe. But, you have to try them out and see, again, like, check in with yourself and see, is this making me happy? Does this feel like there's any resistance here? It's a huge process. So what you've shared with us is that it is a huge process. It's not going to happen overnight. But just to be clear on what you want to do, and also have that plan. I mean, that's the business side of you coming out, right? But it's very true, especially for creatives and artists. I think that a lot of them, just live by the seat of their pants, and they don't make a plan for themselves, which is definitely, it is a little bit more of that masculine mindset, but you need the balance. You
exactly.
need the right brain and the left brain. What kind of projects have you got going on behind the scenes that we can watch out for in the near future?
I want to go into workshops. I've taught art one-on-one, abstract, on how I can hone my skills and teach special techniques on what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Now what I was feeling is like I want to be able to have a collaborative work with other artists, and this is my plan. To hold art workshops, to sell ebooks. And the ebooks is about overcoming your creative block. In fact, there's an ebook that I'd like to share, which I'd like to give away, which is how to keep yourself motivated and inspired when stuck with creative ideas. These are just little steps on what you can do to begin the process. If you feel stuck somewhere, if you feel that you need just a little bit of help. Mm-hmm. This will assist you in that way. And it's not about doing the work. It's actually having fun. The things about what you would do outside of your regular job too, like getting your exercise or doing your journal or starting an artwork or taking a class. That would be the way to do it. The other thing also that I was looking at is having possibly a retreat for other artists overseas, because I travel to the Philippines. So that's another plan, is to get a workshop done over there. And also I'm offering a 30 minutes introductory sessions with artists that want to understand how to create multiple streams of income, because I've done that. So there's many things that and ideas that I have at the moment that I'm working. I'm writing a blog. I'm also working with other artists to create art shows. So I feel that in addition to just looking at the traditional way of showing art to gallery, artists can come out independently and market their own work. And I'd like to show them how to do that.
Awesome. That's wonderful. Wonderful. So where can people find you then?
They can go to my website, shecreates.com.
Okay.
They can contact me under the contact link. And I, through you, I can send the link for the free book.
We'll put all of the information in your bio section of where you can hook up with your free.
Yes, I don't have a specific link that will tell them the time, but contact me with your email information and what it is that you want to talk about. I can give you that 30-minute session.
Perfect. That's wonderful. And thank you very much for those freebies. I have one last question for you. What is it that makes you wild, creative, and confident?
Wow, that's a great question. I think every artist inside is wild, creative, and confident. They just don't know it yet. I think that if you follow your inner voice, if you feel the confidence coming inside you or the lack of confidence, just listen to that inner voice inside you and follow it. Sometimes it sounds like it's negative, but it's not. It'll keep coming back to you. Just keep listening to it. Trust it. Trust yourself. Trust that sound that tells you the direction and proceed you to the direction you want to do. That's, I think, the best way for me to feel that wild, creative, and confident person is actually listening to your inside within and not to be influenced by a lot of the noises outside you.
Well, thank you so much, Asha, for being on this program. And I'm sure so many artists or creatives or just new entrepreneurs that are starting out have got so much out of your message. And you're just full of information for those that are really needing a change in their life. Needing to hone in on their clarity, needing to hone in on their business marketing plan, or even just create a structure for themselves. So thank you so much for speaking. And I hope to see much more of you online.
Thank you so much for having me, Sarah. Thank you.
And thank you everybody for watching again. And, definitely head to the wildandcreative.com website for the new program, 6 Steps to Creative Success. But please check out Asha on shecreates.com, and we will see you all again soon. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.